visiting Cancun, Mexico is a dream holiday for loads of people. There is a side to going to Cancun, Mexico, but I think everyone traveling, especially if you're a female solo traveler, you should know. It was my first solo trip as a female. I definitely had some unpleasant experiences that made me go off YouTube for a while, from being drenched emotionally and also my gadgets being stolen as part of that experience. So definitely watch this video to the end to know the things you need to know before traveling to Cancun, Mexico. So if you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, you'd see that very recently I did post a video of my hotel in Mexico, Rio Hotel Cancun, Mexico, the one in Costa Majoras, and it is also linked with Rio de Mar. Check out that video, by the way. And I was posting my 5-star hotel review and how much fun I had there and how nice it was, because it was an all-inclusive resort, which I think was really nice. There was a dark side to being there that till now I don't think I've fully figured out what really happened, but I think anyone that would be staying in Rio, that would be flying Spirit Airlines, there's some things you need to know. And Rio being one of the sort of like more secure resorts in Cancun definitely makes me feel like whatever is going to like Cancun at all should know, because like anyone could be a victim of what happened to me when I was in Mexico. So starting from the scratch, I live in England and I thought to go visit family in America, and so I spent some time in West Virginia and Pittsburgh, and I was going to go off to Cancun to spend a few days solo traveling. I've never solo traveled before, but I thought I would make it a first and go to Cancun, but I knew I had to take precautions because of, you know, things you see in movies and like all sorts. So I knew I had to take precautions as a female traveler, and my friends living in the US also told me stories of like kidnaps and all sorts. So I was very careful on this trip, especially since I haven't solo traveled before. It was surely an interesting trip. I spent 5 days in Mexico, and yeah, I'd say it was fun on the overall, but something really happened at the end which wasn't pleasant and definitely lingered on and stopped me from doing YouTube and other things because my gadgets were stolen. And yes, how it actually happened. So going to Mexico, my friends sort of like double warned me like, oh, you need to be careful, people get kidnapped, don't go to the clubs, blah blah blah. So I was very careful. I was in my hotel for the most part. It was really nice hotel anyway, and during that time, that was when the hurricane was happening, and so I even had more cause to be more careful, not wanting to go out. I met some really cool people in the hotel, and then we had like so much fun. And I know one of the girls was going out, but I wasn't really keen because I was solo traveling, and I just thought I came here to chill anyway, and the resort is chill, so why not, right? So that was really good. And yeah, so spend time there. My last night in Mexico, if you watch my hotel review, Rio Hotel in Costa Majoras, so I went from the Rio Hotel where I was to Rio de Mar. So these are like two hotels that like link together. There's Rio Palace and there's Rio de Mar, so both of them link together in Costa Majoras, but the party was actually happening more in Rio de Mar, but it was like a twin hotel, if that makes sense, but very big resorts. So like you could sort of go from one hotel to the other, and that's what me and my friends did. So we went to Rio de Mar, and that was where the party was happening. It was really fun, just making friends with people, even though you don't speak the same language, dancing together. And like I still have some of them on Instagram as well. Really cool people. Shout out to all of them if you ever watched this video. I met friends from Canada, and specifically from Canada and Mexico for the most part. They're like really chill, really cool guys. So yeah, we were out, we were having a good time. And then when we were done, I decided that, oh, I have a flight early tomorrow morning. And let me also mention that if you are going to specifically like book Spirit Airline as your flight, definitely stay tuned to the end of this video. Or if you plan to use Spirit Airline anytime soon, or Rio, or even if you'd be booking a taxi in Mexico, I think you need to know this. Oh, by the way, did I mention that the dramatic thing about being to Mexico, like in the past 2 years, I've been to like many countries, I think maybe like 8 or more. I've been to a couple of countries, and I've never really had my things like searched. But when I got to Mexico, getting to my hotel, I saw that TSA had like checked my things, and they'd randomly pick bags to search, and I was like, Mexico seems a bit intense, because like I've never experienced this in another country. So to me, that felt like a bit intense. Like maybe people tend to sneaking things in and out. Immigration was definitely more strict going in and out of Mexico in terms of like the fact that I saw that my things were searched. And you know, even getting back to Texas was another story, which anyway, just stay tuned to listen. So my plan was from Mexico to go to Texas, because like they're sort of close, right? So because my best friend lives there. Back to my story. So we had partied in dinner. I was like, oh, early night, I need to go sleep, I'm flying out early tomorrow. When I was booking my flight, I was using American Airlines throughout my trip in America. But when I checked leaving Mexico, American Airlines sort of had like an 8 a.m. flight, so I was like, this is not good, because I don't see myself leaving this resort by 6 or even earlier to catch a flight. Since I was solo traveling, I just didn't feel like it to be safe enough, to be bright enough. So I thought, oh, I would rather book an 11 a.m. flight, and now it was only Spirit Airline that was flying at that time. I wanted to sort of midday flight. Next one was for like 2 p.m. I didn't want to go out that late, just because, you know, the timing that worked for, you know, my friend picking me up and things like that as well. So I booked this 11 a.m. flight with Spirit Airline, and I was like, oh my god, I've heard so many funny things about Spirit. I was just really like bothered about this flight, because this was, I think I took like 8 flights in 2 weeks, if not more. I think 8 flights in total, and like that was my only Spirit Airline flight. Most of the stories I've seen online, I was bothered, and I was just like, oh my god, like God, just, you know, yeah, I was a bit worried for sure about Spirit Airline. So anyway, back to my story. That was booked anyway before I even came to America. That night, one of the friends I had made from hotel resorts escorted me to my room, made sure I was like safe. It's a bit of a long walk from Dunamore to Rio Palace, and so, you know, my friend just wanted to make sure that I'll be safe. So got there and just like chilled, rested. The next morning started getting ready to leave, right? And so, you know, the night before, actually before I went like out with friends at all, I already made sure like my things were packed up, my gadgets were packed. For the most part, because I was in resort, I wasn't using my watch. And can I just backtrack a little? On the third day of my trip, or was it the second day? That was when the hurricane happened. When the hurricane happened, because my room was on the ground floor, just so the water didn't bring into my room, and just being careful of like, you know, the French doors and all that, the hotel staff moved stuff unauthorized in my room while they were cleaning, but it was, you know, an emergency, so I understood that they had to do what they had to do. It's like, fine, okay, so they basically moved things around, made sure like my French doors were sort of like secure and nothing was like breaking in. For safety, it looked good. I saw that the hotel staff had also moved my gadgets from where I put it by my bedside. There was really no reason to move it, because it was like literally by my bedside fine, but I was like, why did that happen? I also noticed that my things were sort of like all over the place. My Apple Watch, I did not really care about it on this trip, because this was supposed to be a chill trip anyway. My note was somewhere in my luggage, and I took it off once I got to my hotel from the airport when I initially arrived, so I knew it was somewhere in my luggage, but I wasn't too worried about this. So they had moved my stuff, and I was like, this looks a bit like sketchy, but I checked my laptop, was fine. I was like, oh, my Apple Watch is probably somewhere, and that's okay. So back to the night before I left, my friend had already brought me back, but that evening, before even going out, because I thought, oh my god, I may be tired when I get back from hanging out with my friends, so let me just pack my things and get ready. So I actually like packed my things, got everything ready to leave the next morning. If you know me, you know I'm like super organized. I need everything to like be real organized before I do anything at all. And so I had it all like packed, including my gadgets. I put my gadgets in my bag, because Spirit Airline, they have like strict policies on like, you know, hand luggage and things like that. So I had only paid for hold luggage and luggage. I didn't have much anyway, and I thought, oh, this is Mexico, I don't want like my gadgets to like be snatched from me. So I packed my laptop, my whole luggage actually, just being like, oh, at least it's there, it's safe, and I wouldn't forget it this way. So I left it there and literally went out, got back, and it was sleep time. I slept, woke up next morning, and I just thought, oh, I'd packed my bags the night before. I took the essentials that were left and put it in my hand luggage. I was feeling very tired actually that morning, because that evening, because it was my last day, my friends were like, oh, you're leaving, and we were just like out all day by the pool, and just like having cocktails, right, all packed, ready to go. And so I went out, and because it's a long distance, if you know Rio, and if you watch the video, which I'll link up, I think I linked it already, I'll link it up again. If you watch the Rio hotel video, you'd see that it's such a big hotel, so there's no way I was going to get my luggage out myself. And because I was on the ground floor, which is actually more like the basement, I just thought, yeah, hotel staff would help me bring my stuff out. So I left my whole luggage in my room, and I just took my hand luggage, took it out to wait for my taxi, or my cab. And so I went to the lobby, waited, told them, oh, I'm checking out, did all the checking out stuff, and just got like hotel staff to help me bring my luggage out. And so I was just chilling. It took about like 20 minutes or something. Thought, well, everything is fine. Thought I could trust them. So my taxi car, hotel staff helped me put my stuff in. They also told me that I made sure that I didn't order a random Uber, because I'm in a country where I don't know anyone. So I made sure that it was the hotel staff that actually ordered the taxi. It was like specific taxis they trusted. The taxi people had to sign in, sign out to make sure that, you know, they've done the right thing, and they're not like sort of like sketchy. But
I know this is a long one, just stating to hear the entire story. Oh my god, like this problem kind of lasted for months, so don't blame me. Like this is why this is taking so much time to tell.
The driver drove me to the airport, got me off, gave him a tip, all that, cool. Got into the airport, And yeah, on getting in, I questioned like taking my gadgets out and putting it in my small hand, you know, bag, because I didn't have a proper hand luggage. And then I was like, oh my god, if Spirit Airlines anything like EasyJet, then I may have problems with them. Maybe I should just leave everything in my hold luggage. So I kept debating this, and I was like, oh my god, what to do. Anyway, I got on the queue looking, checking my bag, and that's when I saw this guy that sort of had like a Nigerian Ghanaian accent. I would go for Nigerian, I'm Nigerian, it sounded Nigerian, and so it was like,
sister, my girlfriend came with me to Mexico and she has left without me, and I'm just looking for someone that can help me with flights money.
Yeah, talked to a couple in front of me actually, so I think I heard a little bit of that. So when he was coming closer to me, I was a bit worried, because you know, I'm like traveling on my own. I don't want anyone like sort of a target on my back. I don't want any problems. So you know, solo female traveler, so I was just like trying to avoid him as he was trying to talk to me. So a couple in front of me was like, oh, like would make sure you're safe. They're like, we'll make sure you're safe. This was when it was my turn to check in my bag anyway, so this was in front of like the airline attendants and probably cameras and all that. So one couple is like, oh, they not told me the full story, like this guy keeps saying his girlfriend left him and all that. Like, do you feel safe? Should we wait for you? And because the guy saw that I was traveling alone and he wanted to approach me and sort of like talk to me, maybe like easy targets or whatever. So this couple saw me and they're like, do you feel safe? Like this guy has been trying to get money off everyone. He keeps saying his girlfriend left him. They look like a really nice couple actually, and they just checked in their stuff before me. So they're like, we'll wait for you, we'll make sure you're safe before we leave. I was like, oh wow, thank you very much. They look very nice. They look like, you know, very good, responsible people. And so I checked in my stuff and I was like, oh, you know, I was having that debate whether to get my gadgets out of my hold luggage already. I was like, this one that this guy is even trying to get me to give him money, like I better not bring out my gadgets. Like, do I know if I'm safe? Is he going to follow me? Because the airline attendants were not, you know, speaking to him. He basically came in with no flights, you know, tickets, nothing, and it was just like strange. Everybody on the queue was like, doesn't he have like a credit card or something, or family could call? It was just like weird. Like, why do you have to like ask people on the queue for money, or how could you come to another country with no backup money? You know, everybody was just like, this is so weird. So nobody was even like looking to listen to him, and it just looked all sketchy. And I was like, oh my god, okay, I don't want to take my gadgets out of my old luggage, I'll just leave it there. So checked in my stuff. I was like, okay, at least now my gadgets are safe. That was literally what was in my head. Cool. I just had like a small bag I was carrying, fine. So I was just waiting. I think our flight was even a little bit delayed. You know, I was talking to like nice people around me. Thought, oh cool, I'll just like make it back to Texas, go meet my friend, everything will be fine again. Good. So I get to Texas. Was a bit of drama with immigration. I didn't know anything about traveling to Mexico and then thinking like everyone is carrying drugs or something. Maybe that's it. I don't even know if that is it. Went through immigration. It's a bit of drama. Obviously clean. They're like, oh, why are you traveling on your own to Mexico? Blah blah blah. Like, I think the concept of just traveling, coming all the way to England, traveling may seem strange, and I'd been traveling to like other states as well. I suppose maybe it was a bit strange to immigration. I don't know. Kept asking me questions, thinking I was sketchy. Clean, all good. Okay, my friend comes to pick me up. Got to Texas and everything. I opened my luggage and I'm like, babes, like this doesn't, like my luggage looks all over the place. Like some of my skincare product like poured into my luggage and all that. And I just thought, oh, maybe it was when they're transferring stuff. You know, some of the things I brought from my friend, they're like edible things, you know, a bit of like cosmetic products that poured on them, and I had to like chuck them away. I was just like wondering, like, how did this come about? So I was like, maybe it was just one of those things. And so I just like, you know, took my mind off it and sort of like just, you know, carried on enjoying my time in Texas. Now at this time, I hadn't even like, I've been so chill throughout this trip that, and maybe this like is a lesson for anyone watching, I hadn't even thought about my gadget. Like now I know anytime I go on a trip and I come back and check that everything that I put in my luggage is actually there. So I was leaving out of my boxes. I was like visiting my friend for a few days. I wasn't like hanging my stuff or anything like that. So I didn't quickly notice, because my gadgets anyway, I put it at the bottom of my clothes and stuff, and I wasn't needing. This is like holiday. I wasn't necessarily like editing YouTube videos or doing anything work-wise or any applications, anything like that. So I just like laptop, Apple Watch away from me. Anyway, I spent like 3 days in Texas chilling with my friend, and I think this was on the 4th day. I was like, oh, let me like repack my things, and then I was like, where's my MacBook? Where's my Apple Watch? And then I remember trying to go out with Bridget. I was like, oh, some of my jewelry is not here. But, you know, just thinking, oh, it's probably somewhere in my load and I'll just find it. I'm not initially having that instinct that it's been stolen, you know. I'm just like, till today, I'm like still surprised. Like, you know, when you don't just find some jewelry, you're like, oh, it's probably tucked in a little corner of your box. Don't worry about it. So just little things like that I started noticing were gone. So jewelry was gone. a necklace that my mom had given me and I really, really cherished for many, many years, because it was like, you know, non-fade, really nice jewelry, gone. My MacBook gone. Apple Watch gone. Some jewelry I bought like from a South African brand, all gone. It was just like so annoying. I was like, what's I was just in a state of shock. I was supposed to go to dinner with my friend and I was just not in the mood anymore. I just kept calling people, called, you know. I was like literally losing my mind. And then I started calling Mexico, calling the hotel, calling everywhere. I just didn't know where it happened. Where did that was it when I was in the hotel the night before? Was it when they're cleaning my room the day before? Was it when they're taking my stuff from my room to reception, to the lobby? Was it the cab driver? Or was it, you know, Spirit Airline? Who was it? I was just like really mad, really confused, really like sort of heartbroken, like what happened? I'm not happy about the whole situation at all. It was such a stressful day. I was just trying to keep calm, but I was not, you know, in a good place at all. So I started calling. I requested Spirit Airline, wrote to Rio. I dragged Rio. Rio was like, nope, it's not us, it's not our staff. I don't feel like they did enough like investigation about what happened. I just felt like they wanted to just brush it off, like big corporation, nothing can, you know, stand against them, blah blah blah. I reached out to my insurance company. Insurance, you know what insurance people are like, they try to dodge it as much as they can. They read through their policies and just try to say nope, 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 you know. And I'm like, I'm literally not trying to scam you guys. My gadget's actually gone. I had travel insurance, like sort it out, guys. And I dragged this on and on and on for months. Spirit Airlines said no, like we're doing investigation for this. For a long time everyone was saying like no, 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 until I used like a special line for Spirit Airline, like, and I think they got scared. And so the whole line I've seen online, Spirit Airline actually, I think they got worried and they were like, oh fine, like although we don't they said they'll do their investigations initially, and that was what they kept saying until I used that line. And then they came back and Spirit Line was like, you know what, we know we can't fully restore everything, but we can compensate you and we will give you blah blah blah. First they needed receipt of all my stuff which I'd sent to them initially, when me being the original owner of all the stuff. I suppose maybe when they did the investigation they saw like a footage or something. I'm just wondering if that's what happened, because I've seen many things online about Spirit Airline staff actually stealing customer stuff. So I'm wondering if they actually saw stuff on their cameras and they realized it was their staff. Because when I, you know, mentioned how I know my rights and blah blah blah, they just came back and said, you know what, we can't restore your stuff but we'll compensate you. And then they were able to pay me some money to buy my new stuff, which is what I used to get my gadgets again, because I knew I'm not coming out of pockets to buy this stuff. Because the thing with insurance and, you know, all these airlines and all that is you don't know what they'll say. You really don't know if they would say they would buy you the item or they would actually give you the money. So I was like, if I buy this with my money, I don't know if they would actually like return my money, or if they would just like give me a new item, which is not the same, is it? So I just thought I'll wait till it's all sorted before even considering using my own money to buy another MacBook or Apple Watch, or even to buy back my jewelry. Anyway, when all this was happening, I was dragging this with Spirit Airline and Rio and all that. I could see my stuff being transported from somewhere close to the airport. For a while it was somewhere close to the airport, and then it moved to like a pawn shop. And how did I know it was a pawn shop? I had to basically contact a friend that knows a friend that eventually told me that, oh, like your stuff is in a pawn shop. Someone that could understand like Mexican, and said, oh, that address is a pawn shop, but they don't feel comfortable going there because, you know, what if like people there are not like people that are necessarily like safe to associate with. So everybody just wants to take their hands off and like, you know what, although we live in Mexico, we can't necessarily go to these places, we want to be safe, so why not just like lean on your insurance company and keep disturbing the airline and all that, which is what I ended up having to do. In the middle of all of this, another shocking thing that happened is the thief actually reached out to me. The thief reached out to me and he said, oh, hi, like very strange. He was like, hey girl, I have your laptop. And then he asked me to go buy it on the open market in Mexico. Can you imagine? I'm like, I'm the only one that can open this laptop. This laptop is actually like useless to you. I could see the address of where it was. I could see everything. And I was sending it to the police contact details I have. Those ones are not even like keen on going there. They're like, I need to come back to report in Mexico. I'm like, I'm literally in England. That doesn't make any sense. And the thief literally had the guts to actually message me and say, hey girl, yeah, I'm your laptop. I'm like, send it to this address. He's like, no, like, would you give me money if I send your laptop to this address? I'm just like desperate, but I'm like, yeah, I'll give you money. Like, just send the laptop, just send the whole thing, like send it. The guy just stops responding altogether, and he just says, oh, go to the open market and buy it. I'm just like, I don't even live in America, like, so like I'm not even close to Mexico. How do I go to this Mexico open market, one online market in Mexico, and buy my laptop. That doesn't make any sense, and like it's literally useless to anyone else because like they can't open it. And I've literally also locked the laptop from my phone. You know, when you find your phone device, you can lock your laptop, you can lock your watch, which is what I did. And so those would have been useful to anyone that stole them anyway. So it was just like dumb and thief spots altogether. This went on and on and on for a long time. Anyway, then Spirit Airline decided to step up their game and actually like compensate me with something. I think it took about 3 months for this to happen, and you know, emotionally I was just like, you know, kind of distraught, because when you go on holiday, this is not something you want to happen. Besides the fact that gadgets can be expensive, they also hold like sentimental value for most people. So it's like, you know, you hold your phone all the time, you use your laptop a lot, your Apple Watch you literally wear all the time. Those are things that hold sentimental value, and you know, replacing them doesn't always feel quite the same. Even now that I have new ones, they don't feel quite the same. They're not even the same color anyway. But yeah, it was just a strange experience to have. I don't wish it on anybody. So if you are going to Mexico, this is something you need to know that could potentially happen. So definitely protect yourself, irrespective of the resort you'll be going, because Rio was a relatively safe resort where they did not allow strangers to come into the resort. But the staff, can you 100% trust them? The you know, drivers, I don't know. You know, Mexico, the thing with them is like reaching out to the police was not even a great option, because like the police were just like speaking to me in Mexican and saying I have to come there to write a report, which was like so strange. And everyone was sort of like asking me for some money, or give me money and I'll go to the pawn shop for you. And you know, I am Nigerian, so I know kind of things that could happen in Nigerian kind of situation, so I knew not to give anybody money. And anyway, like it was such a funny, crazy time in my life, but I thank God, because like it felt like I had grown a lot from that experience, because I wasn't like necessarily running mad. I was still like keeping my cool, going to work, and not necessarily like, you know, passing my aggression to anyone. So if you are going to Mexico, these are things like you literally need to know. You need to know like people have been kidnapped, not to scare you, but just to know how to be careful. People's devices have been stolen. Anyway, I just thought I'll hop on here and share my story. I'm about to go to sleep. I just remembered everything. I thought I better come on here and just share my experience. It would be useful for someone going to Mexico, especially since I reviewed the Rio Hotel Costa Majors, Rio Palace Hotel, Rio de Nama. I reviewed those recently, and I just thought anybody going to Mexico, while I've said these good things about this hotel in Mexico, it's good to know like the other side as well, just for a balanced perspective. And I would leave a video of my review of the Rio Hotel Costa Majors, Rio Palace Hotel Costa Majors, and Rio de Nama as well. So you could go watch that review for a balanced perspective, and I would see you in that video.